There is a road in Italy that was built before Julius Caesar was born, and cars drive on it today. The Appian Way was finished in 312 BC. That is 2,300 years ago. It runs 350 miles from Rome to the heel of Italy. Roman engineers built it in 4 layers: gravel, broken rock, concrete, then tight-fitted basalt on top. No steel, no computers, just physics. Sections of the original Appian Way still exist under modern asphalt. Some exposed stretches still carry actual traffic. The road outlasted Rome itself. Follow for more structures that quietly outlasted everything around them. For 600 years, the tallest structure humans had ever built was not a cathedral or a castle. It was a lighthouse. Built around 280 BC near Alexandria, Egypt, it stood roughly 400 feet tall. Sailors used it as a landmark from 35 miles out at sea. It had a mirror system at the top that reflected sunlight by day and fire by night. No electricity, no Fresnel lens, just geometry and polished bronze. It survived 1,500 years of earthquakes and sea storms before finally falling in 1375 AD. Its stones were recycled into a fort that still stands today. Stick around. Every chapter in this pack has a structure that genuinely should not exist. Archaeologists in Jordan found a sealed grain vault. It was 4,000 years old. The ventilation system still functioned. The site is Tal Hujayrat al-Ghuzlan in southern Jordan. Built around 2000 BC, underground chambers sealed with clay, built to keep grain cool and dry. The builders carved vertical shafts into the rock to circulate air. That is the exact same principle inside a modern grain silo. They figured it out with stone tools. The grain inside had carbonized, but the chamber itself held its structure for 4 millennia. Bronze Age engineers solved passive cooling 2,000 years before Rome. Follow so you do not miss the next one. A bridge that has carried weight for 2,000 years non-stop. There is a bridge in Turkey that Roman soldiers built in 200 AD. People walked across it this morning. Roman legions built the Granary Bridge around 200 AD in what is now southern Turkey. One arch, 118 feet across. No steel reinforcement, just cut limestone. The arch works because every stone pushes against its neighbor. Pull one out, and they all hold tighter. The design converts weight into sideways force. The Granary Bridge has been in continuous use for roughly 1,800 years. It carries pedestrians today. Roman engineers built it to outlast Rome, and it did. Follow for more chapters. They only get stranger from here. Someone carved a canal into a Peruvian mountain 3,000 years ago. Parts of it still carry water today. No pumps, no modern repair. The Cumbaymayo Canal is near Cajamarca, Peru, built around 1000 BC. It runs 5.5 miles across a mountain ridge cut directly into volcanic rock. It crosses the Continental Divide. Water on one side drains to the Pacific. The engineers cut precise zigzag turns to slow the current so it would not erode the rock. The builders had no written engineering manuals. They solved hydraulic gradient, erosion control, and watershed crossing using observation alone. And it lasted 3,000 years. Follow so you catch the next chapter. It involves a dome that engineers still cannot fully replicate. There is a dome in Rome that held the record for world's largest for 1,300 years. It has a giant hole in the top. That hole is why it works. The Pantheon was completed around 125 AD. The dome is 142 feet across. The oculus at the top is 27 feet wide and open to the sky. No glass. The concrete gets lighter as it goes up. Near the base, it uses dense travertine aggregate. Near the top, pumice, which is basically solidified foam. Pure weight management. Engineers today struggle to reproduce that dome without steel reinforcement. The Pantheon has stood for 1900 years. It is still an active church. Rain enters through the oculus and drains through the floor. Follow and watch the next one. It is a wall that was never supposed to keep anyone out. One section of the Great Wall of China is built on a ridge so steep that no army could ever use it. Historians now think it was never about armies at all. The Jiankou section sits north of Beijing. Built during the Ming Dynasty, roughly 1368 to 1644 AD, the ridge is nearly vertical in places. Marching troops there would be impossible. The watchtowers there were spaced for line of sight. Each one could see the next. A smoke signal at Tower 1 reached Beijing 200 miles away in under 2 hours, faster than any rider. It was a 2,000-mile communication network built from fire and geometry. The wall was the backbone. The signal was the point. It predated the telegraph by 200 years. Follow for the last chapter. It is a harbor that survived a 2,000-year storm cycle. In 20 BC, engineers poured concrete directly into the Mediterranean Sea to build a harbor. That concrete is still there, still solid. Herod the Great built Caesarea Maritima Harbor between 22 and 10 BC on the Israeli coast. It covered 200 acres and became one of the biggest ports in the Mediterranean. The concrete used volcanic ash called pozzolana, mixed with seawater. Most concrete crumbles in salt water. This kind gets stronger. Seawater triggers a slow crystal growth inside the mix. Modern concrete and seawater lasts maybe 50 years. The Caesarea breakwaters have lasted 2,000. Researchers confirmed the crystal reinforcement mechanism in a 2017 study. Herod's engineers had it right first. Follow the channel so you get the whole next pack the second it drops.